You there?
I'm here. I don't know what's happening.
Your camera doesn't look like it's on, which is fine. It doesn't have to be.
Um,
I think it's hilarious. It says the Jacksons has entered your waiting room, and I just have this like the Jackson 5 song, going off in my head.
That's what a lot of people say.
I'm sure. Oh, well, you guys are the Jacks. Are you Jackson's 5? Is that what your email is, or no,
Yeah.
four kids?
Four,
Kids,
yeah, I've
Jackson.
got 4 kids.
That's funny. So you said it's a military. Oh, and let me just tell you up front, this call will be recorded for just training purposes, if that's okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Cool. So you said that you have been moving for military?
Yeah, but we're done moving. We're retired now.
Okay, awesome. What branch of the military?
Air Force.
Okay. So did you ever live in Fort Collins then,
No.
or Colorado Springs?
We lived in Aurora.
Aurora. Gotcha.
Yeah, so Denver.
Yep. I used to live in Denver. Actually, the Capitol Hill area, downtown Denver, like 10th and Clarkson Street. Don't know if you know where that's at.
No, I just know where the zoo is down there, honestly. So.
On Colorado Boulevard there.
Yeah.
That's funny. So what's the next step after retirement?
He got a job at McDill Air Force Base.
Okay.
So, we're here for a little bit.
Gotcha. So retired, but still working with the military?
Yes, he's a
As
contractor.
Okay, cool.
I don't know why my computer is not working. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It looks like it's upside down too, which is funny. That's totally fine. Well, I know Josh. I've known Josh for about 7 or 8 years now. I met him. Oh, looks like it's working. What's going on? Now you just have to push camera. Oh, now it's off.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
That's all right. Do you have a camera on your computer?
Yeah,
Do you know?
and it used to work.
Okay, no worries. You just have to see my screen. I don't need to see you unless you want me to. It's not urgent. But anyway, so Josh, I'm in a networking group called BNI with Josh. I don't know how much he's told you about it. And then he and Christina had bought a policy from me years ago. And one of the things that attracted them to this is a returner premium. So if you don't use the plan, you get all your money back. And because they have 2 daughters, he's like, oh, well, that'd be great. Sorry, I got a text. Let me put that down. So that'd be great because when the girls are about to be married, we'll have a forced savings for it. And I actually have given him a bunch of referrals, and then he gave me a bunch of referrals. And then your sister, Sarah Mabra, I found out is a client of ours as well. She's bought from someone else.
So Christina is my sister and Sarah is Josh's sister.
Oh, all right. Well, then I apologize. Then you're not your sister, but Sarah actually.
I know who she is.
I'm sorry?
I said I know who she is.
Okay, cool. So she's a client of ours as well. So let me highlight what I do. So I talk to families about 3 main areas: cancer, heart, stroke, accident, and intensive care. Like I said, Josh and Christina have a cancer and an intensive care policy. Sarah actually has 3 of our plans. For you and your husband, and what's your husband's name, Amber?
Lance.
Lance. Okay. For you all, which of those are a bigger concern for you, the cancer or the heart stroke, based on what you've seen with like friends, neighbors, family members?
I would say heart and stroke.
Okay. Why would you say that?
Because I think it's because it's an all of a sudden thing usually.
Okay. Have you known anyone who's dealt with that?
My dad had a triple bypass heart surgery.
And did he survive?
He did. Yeah, they didn't even
Awesome.
know it was a heart attack. He went in because he was having pain in his arms, and my mom made him go in, and they caught it.
Okay. And I'll just ask you some questions. And if you don't know the answer, just say I don't know, or if you're not comfortable. Was he hospitalized at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yes, because they had to do surgery.
Okay. And then if you had to guess ballpark, how many days was he hospitalized?
Oh, probably 6 weeks.
Wow, 6 weeks. And then was he in intensive care during any of that time?
I don't know. He is
Okay.
he's in his 60s, so maybe for a day or two
Okay.
after surgery.
Cool. Anyone else you've known who's had heart stroke or anything like that?
I mean, I know not in my family, but I mean I know a lot of people that have had strokes and heart attacks, so just all of a sudden.
Okay. So I'm going to share my screen and you won't see me anymore, but hopefully you can hear me. And if you can't see my screen, just say something creative like, hey, you're not sharing your screen. Let's see. Oh, and I got my license in Florida, so let me switch to Florida since that's where you're at now. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so whoops, wrong one. So I'll skip stats. You know, heart disease can happen. Here's risk factors. So you mentioned heredity with your dad, right? Increasing age is another risk factor that gets us all. How about any of these others for you, Lance, or your kids, like high cholesterol, tobacco, high blood pressure, physical activity, stress, or diabetes?
So obviously not for me, but my husband has high cholesterol,
Okay,
tobacco use,
okay,
um, high blood pressure here and there, and he has diabetes that run in his family, and
okay,
he's
but
like on the border of it.
okay, so he hasn't had it yet, but
No.
got it. All right. And so those are risk factors, and you can change your diet or you can exercise more to kind of influence those things. So the bad news is, okay, these things can be very expensive. And there's two types of costs. There's direct, which are doctor bills. And you probably have, are you guys on TRICARE?
We are.
Good. Okay. So I have nothing to do with direct costs. TRICARE pretty much covers everything for you, right? What I help people with are costs that are not covered by health insurance, and those are called indirect costs. And those can be things like loss of income. Like if he can't work or he chooses not to work, you still got to pay your living expenses, like your home, your auto, utilities, your food. Sometimes people have credit card debt, sometimes student loan. I wouldn't imagine you guys have student loans because military usually pays for colleges and things like that. Although you're going to school, right?
Yeah, but I'm using part of his GI Bill because I only have 2 years left.
Awesome. What are you studying?
Psychology.
Oh, so you're analyzing me as we go through this phone call, is that right?
Not really. You're in the clear. I've only had one personality class.
Awesome. Well, whenever a bell rings, I salivate, so we're there. Just kidding. All right. So then a lot of times people have insurance limitations. This one may not apply to you as much because you guys have the TRICARE, okay? But sometimes out-of-pocket expenses can really pile up, and out-of-pocket can be travel, food, lodging, childcare, not just for the patient but also for family. Have you ever known people who've had to travel for like heart stroke stuff?
I mean, I don't know them personally, but I have known people. I mean, I've known
You've
of
known
people.
of? Yeah. So you gotcha. So when things happen, Amber, your income stays the same or goes down, but your expenses, they go up. When do people think about these costs typically?
When it happens.
Yeah, and for you and Lance, if something were to happen to you, he, or your 4 children because of heart, stroke, or anything ICU related, does not have to be heart or stroke, which of these indirect costs would impact you guys the most?
Probably the first two. Probably
Okay.
living.
Okay. And people have savings, right? Or they could sell assets. Most don't do that because they want to. They do it because they have to, right? If you're on, I don't know if you're on Facebook, but there's GoFundMe pages.
Mhm.
You've seen those? Okay. So what would be your backup plan to deal with the loss of income and ongoing living expenses if something happened to you all?
Oh, I would sell my house.
So you'd sell assets. Got
Yeah.
it. So what I do is a supplemental coverage that helps protect your assets, family, and future. The company I represent is called Globe Life Family Heritage, and the product is called CardioCare Plus. The idea is health insurance pays doctors and hospitals that keeps them going. We pay money direct to you. It helps keep you going. It does pay on top of any other insurance you own, and it covers you, Lance, and your children are covered from birth up to age 25, as long as they're financially dependent and unmarried. Let me share with you just two examples. This is a client of mine, and she says, "Dear Rob, to whom it may concern, Rob McLean stopped by our home several years ago, 4 to be exact, and we purchased the plan that if either of us were to be diagnosed with cancer or in intensive care for any reason, we'd be paid benefits to help with costs not covered by our health insurance. We know the reality of how it can happen as we've both been in the health profession for over 20 years. A few years later, Rob called and asked if he could review our policy, and we bought a second policy that would cover us for heart-related issues. About a year later, Johnny had a heart attack. We called Rob while we were still at the hospital, and he emailed us forms to help get the claims process started right away. When Johnny was discharged, Rob came by the house to help us know what was needed to file our claim. Our claim was paid within weeks of having the right paperwork submitted, and both policies paid, and to date, we've been paid over $12,000. We've used the money to cover co-pays, travel, whatever the remaining balance was on our health insurance, paid their portion. It was really comforting knowing we had help with these extra expenses. We've been extremely pleased with the service of both Rob and Family Heritage and highly recommend taking a policy out with him and his company. Um, and I share with you that one. That one's 12,000, right? So
Mhm.
it wasn't a very major deal, but I've had clients that we've paid 90,000. So it all depends upon what happens to you, right? Um, but here's what people like is our policies are simple to understand. The reason I was asking these questions about your dad, I'm going to try to show you how this would have paid had he had the policy, and that way you'll see the value if something similar were to happen to you, what kind of value it would be for you all. Okay. Um, it is affordable. I've got 4 levels of coverage. I'm going to share with you the elite package. People typically get either the elite or the preferred, either the top 2 levels. But if those don't fit your budget, there's 3 levels below the elite package. Okay. And last but not least, Amber, is it is an easy decision. I've been doing this for 16 years, and my job, I find, is just basically I've got great products. So my job is just working really hard to talk to enough open-minded people, and the ones that like it and it fits their budget, they tell me it's a no-brainer. They do it, you know. But I do talk to a lot of people who it's a no-brainer and they don't do it, you know. So it's either a no-brainer or a no thank you. I show this about 20 or 30 times a week. 5 people buy and 25 people say no. So whatever you decide is fine with me. I guess the favor I always ask people, can you be upfront with me when I'm done and just let me know one way or the other? Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that I've had something like this before, but I don't. It was a little different. Like for instance, I worked at a preschool and somebody came in and
Yep.
they sold us this package, whoever wanted it, and it was like $20 a month. I'm not saying yours is that cheap, but for instance, if I took any time off, even if I wasn't working anymore, it would cover any time I was in the hospital. And so I knew I was going to have another child. And so I
Yep.
decided to get it. And then when I had a child, they paid me for 6 weeks off while I was not working.
Did you have Aflac?
I don't think it was Aflac, but it was
Okay.
something, and it was like, I don't know, 8 years ago. It was, I mean, it was amazing. I mean, I bought a lot of formula.
So it was
So
very helpful for you.
it
So
was.
you understand the concept.
Yes.
Okay. So this isn't a hospitalization, but it does pay, but it only pays if it's due to heart or stroke related or anything intensive care. So I'm going to show you two policies. And I actually have a cancer plan that works the same way, and I have an accident injury. So, but is that fair? I'll just share it with you. And if you're comfortable and you want to do it, let me know, and I'll enroll you. And if not, just tell me no.
Yes.
Cool. Because I think people think of this one of two times. One is when I talk to them, and when's the next time they think about it?
When it happens.
Yeah. And then they're either really grateful that they did it, or they're kicking themselves because they wish they would have, you know? So
Yeah.
that's why I ask people to make the decision. And you've got a lot going on. So a lot of times it's out of sight, out of mind, right? Until something happens. So, all right. So you see the top right-hand side where it says Elite 8.
Yes.
Okay. And then you see opposite side, it says Preferred 4.
Yes.
So Elite 8 is the top level coverage. Preferred 4 is the exact same coverage. It pays out half. And then there's two cheaper options as well. I'm just going to focus on Elite 8, but I just want you to see that Preferred 4 pays out exactly half of what Elite 8 does. Okay.
Okay.
So upon diagnosis of any kind of internal cancer, the Elite 8 plan pays out. I'm sorry. First, diagnosis of heart attack or stroke, not cancer. I apologize. For heart attack or stroke, we pay $6,000. So you said your dad did have a heart attack, or he did not?
He did not have a full-blown heart attack that got him in before. Like he was just
Okay.
having numbness.
So we would not have paid the $6,000, but for each day of hospitalization, we pay $800 a day. Okay. So if he was in there for 6 weeks, let's just round it to 40 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
40 times 800, that's 32,000, right? Observation room is 800, okay? And then ambulance is 1,200, okay? And you see where it says no lifetime limits in the middle of the screen? Sorry. Just above hospitalization, it says no lifetime limits.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a limit per day of 800, but there's no limit on how many days. So it could be 8 days, 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 8 occurrences. It pays again and again, no matter how many times.
Okay.
Okay. Surgeries, if it's an outpatient surgery, it pays $960. If it's inpatient, we pay $960 each day, up to $24,000, depending upon how many days you're in the hospital recovering from surgery. So you said your dad was in there for 6 weeks, $960. So $960 times, well, actually, it would have been, 24,000, because it would have capped out, right? Because he was in there for more than.
Yeah.
And there's no lifetime limits on how many surgeries. Okay. Physical therapy is $120 a day, and that pays up to 30 days per hospitalization, but there's no lifetime limit.
Cardiac care just for heart attacks?
Or strokes or heart disease.
Okay, got it.
Yep. Okay. Now, the best way to beat things like heart disease or stroke is to catch things early, right? Like your dad did. So if you do your heart screenings, okay, we pay up to $240, and that's per year per person on the plan. Okay, so if you do a cholesterol screening every single year, we pay you $240 each time. If you do MRIs, EKGs, X-rays, CT scans, we pay up to $240. Now, if you just do a cardiac X-ray, it pays $160. But if you do a X-ray and a cholesterol screening, it maxes at $240 per year per person on the plan. Why, Amber, do we as a company want you all to catch the heart or stroke early?
Because it helps your sustain life. I mean,
yeah, that's how it helps you, right? It helps us because if you catch it early, it saves us money, right?
Yeah.
But it helps you because your survival rates are greater. So it's a win-win. Okay. Now, a heart transplant's 160,000. Okay. And then if you travel, like you said, you knew some people who did, not personally, but you've known people who've traveled, and you go over 80 miles from home, okay, we pay 60 cents a mile you put on your car. If you go by plane, train, or bus, pays up to $2,500 round trip. We pay that for the patient. We also pay that for a family member. And if the patient is a child, we pay for the child, pay for both parents. And if the patient has to be hospitalized, we pay up to $200 a night, so family members can be in a hotel and the hospital as well. So
Okay.
everything I've covered is the heart stroke part of the policy. Does that help you understand how this would have helped your dad and vice, and then how it helps people?
Yes.
Cool. So down at the bottom, okay, where my pie chart is, so this covers heart disease, heart attack, and stroke. Where it says pre-existing conditions. Have you, Lance, or your children had any heart issues of any kind?
No.
Okay, and then the effective date is immediately. Okay, um, so the ICU part, ICUs for any reason. Now, I've got clients. Christina works at a school district where I have a mom who had twins and her babies were born in the NICU. Um, you ever known people who've had been in the ICU or the NICU for any reason?
Yes.
Okay, so
My
for
daughter, my oldest, was in the NICU for 9 days.
okay, so had you had this policy, we would have paid 1,600 for you and Lance, and we would have paid 800 for your daughter. So that would have been 7,200. Okay. Now, if it's involving an auto, bus, truck, plane, or train accident, it doubles to 3,200, and it doubles to 1,600 for your daughter or your children. Excuse me. Um, and that pays up to 31 days per confinement, but there's no lifetime limits on how many confinements. So I have a client right now whose daughter was in the ICU for 128 days, but because it caps at 30 days in Arkansas, it's just going to pay the 30 days, but they're still happy with the coverage they got, right?
Yeah.
Um, Step down unit is 1,200. For your children, it's 600. Ambulance is 800. Air ambulance is 2,000, and accidental death is 20,000, and 10,000 for your children. And accidental death is simply that it's due to an accidental um, accident or injury. The death is occurring. It's not due to like uh, heart. You know, that's not an accident, or sickness isn't an accident.
Okay.
Okay. Now my pie chart down there, right? So where it says vehicular accident, I explained to you, so the ICU, if you have an accident of any kind of vehicle, we pay 1,600. What we define as vehicular is if it's involving an auto, bus, truck, plane, or train accident, then it doubles, okay? Um, so where it says pre-existing condition, I already asked you the question. You guys haven't had any heart issues of any kind. And then I know you wouldn't do this, but I'm required to cover it. If you hurt yourselves or each other intentionally, we're not going to pay. That's what self-inflicted injury. And if you do something illegal, we're not going to pay.
Okay.
Okay. So the summary of what I've gone over with you so far. So all the money that I've talked about is paid directly to you. So just like you got that money for your formula, right?
Uh-huh.
Or the money came to you, you could use it wherever you wanted. Same thing. The money comes to you, you get to use it however you need. It pays on top of any other insurance you have. So obviously your TRICARE is going to cover everything. This still pays full amounts to you, and you can use it for your loss of income or travel or whatever else you want. Okay. Um, Claim payments are directly deposited to your bank account at your option. Um, so we draft it out of a bank once a month for the premiums, but then if you have something happen, we just deposit the money back into your checking account. Okay. Your coverage is guaranteed renewable. That means we can't drop you. You can drop us. Your phone call is answered by a live person. So part of the things I love about I don't just sell the plan. I also help people with the claims. I don't believe help is having a piece of paper that you have in a filing cabinet. It's, hey, how do I get the money that I have paid for, you know, or how do I get the protection that I paid for? But if you call the company, they're located in Cleveland, Ohio. They speak English as their first language. Your premiums do not increase with age or because of claims. And we go with the younger of the two of you if there's an age difference between you and Lance. Okay. And we have never raised a rate on existing policyholders. So like I said, Josh has had this policy for about 7 years now, and the rate that they had is still the same rate that they have today. Okay.
Okay.
So from what I've shared with you, I'm about to tell you the cost, but before I do that, from what I've shared with you, Amber, what's kind of grabbing your attention more? Do you like what it covers and how it pays? Or do you like the fact that the money is paid directly to your bank account and you get to choose how you use it most?
I mean, both, but I would say how it covers and what it pays.
Cool. Why is that such a big deal for you? The fact that it covers heart, stroke, and ICU?
because when you get older, those are very important things that most people die from. And this way, you know, you're covered.
Yeah. So you're
No,
blessed to have help. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
sorry. I mean, no matter what you said, you asked me another question of, or is it directly paid to you? I mean, if it's directly paid to me, no matter what, I know I'd be getting the money.
And you have the control, right, of what you do with it.
Yeah.
You can use it where you need it most. Awesome. Well, for cost, right, or for the premiums, you guys, this isn't health insurance, right? Health insurance rates have been going up and up, and coverage has been going down and down. So people compare it to the cost of health insurance. You're blessed to have it through the military. I mean, your husband definitely earned it from all his time and service. But do you have any idea how expensive health insurance would be if you had to buy it on your own?
Yeah,
Like
because my
as a
mom pays it and I see her bills and it's outrageously expensive.
Okay. So how young are you and Lance?
How old are we?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
Or
39.
how young?
Yeah,
29?
I'm 39 and Lance is
Oh,
43.
39 and 43. Okay. So Lance gets a discount because he married a younger woman. See how there's two level, there's a 41 to 45 age bracket,
Uh-huh.
and you're in the 36 to 40. So the coverage I shared with you, the elite plan for the family is $91.60 a month for the heart stroke. Okay. And then the elite plan for the ICU is $66.40.
Okay.
Is that pretty reasonable for the coverages I showed you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is not the reason that people buy the plan. People buy it for the protection, but a perk is our program makes sense even if you never file a claim. Okay. We refund 100% of your premiums less any claims after 25 years. Okay. If you and Lance both pass away before the 25-year time period is up, for any reason, the money is immediately refunded to a beneficiary, less any claims paid. So I'm going to use an example. I'm going to use the 9160 for the heart stroke, and that's for the family. So you guys have 4 kids, so 6 of you. So times 12 times 25 is 27,480. Okay. And you said you're 39, so in 25 years, you'll be 64. So at 64, if you had this policy all the way till you were 64 for all 25 years and you never use it, you get all $27,480 back. Is that a pretty good forced savings?
Wow.
Okay. Now, if you do use the plan, okay, and we pay you 1,000, so let's say we paid you 5,000, but we didn't pay you as much as you put into it, we also pay you the 22,480 back as long as you kept it all 25 years. Okay.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Now, if heaven forbid we paid you more like your dad, okay, we paid you 32,000 over the 25-year time period and you kept it all 25 years, you're not going to get any money back, but we paid you what you needed when you needed it and you're not going to get a bill for the difference.
Got it.
Okay. At 25 years after you get your money back, you can continue the coverage and it stays at the same rate.
So how do you guys technically make money?
Great question. Let me throw that back to you. How do you think we make money? And I'll answer that. I just want to have you think about it for a minute.
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. So there's 2 ways we make money, right? One, we're investing that money over a 25-year time period. And we keep the interest and the growth, but we give you back the principal.
Okay.
Okay. The other way we make money is if you don't keep it for 25 years, say you cancel, we keep the money on that as well.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
So I see these unit. If you go back a page, I don't know if you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see the units. Did you
Yep.
explain those units or am I totally lost?
Okay, so I did, but you're not totally lost. This gets a lot of people. So remember I said there's 4 levels of coverage. And I'm going to share with you the top plan, which is called Elite 8. So that's the 8-unit policy.
Got it. Because the 4 was on the left side.
Yes, ma'am. So the 4, if you wanted to do the half plan, it's $48.80. If you wanted to do a quarter plan, it's 2740. And when I say half, it pays out half the amounts of what I shared with you, right? So instead of paying 6,000 for diagnosis of a heart attack or stroke, it pays 3,000.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So different people have different budgets, so different people have different, you know, they sign up for different things. You know.
My question for you is, what's the most popular, heart attack and stroke or ICU?
Oh, so I would say what's most popular. I typically show these together. So what's most popular is people get both, but if that's not in your budget, then that's fine. It's all according to what you're most concerned about. Like, are you more concerned about heart stroke, or are you more concerned about anything intensive care related? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for some of my clients, when I asked that question in the beginning, I said, which is a bigger concern for you? Oh, cancer. So they would buy the cancer, and then I throw the ICU along with that. So they get the cancer ICU, or they just get the cancer, or they just get the ICU. You follow what I'm saying? So
yeah. So is the cancer the same price as the heart attack and stroke?
it's very similar. Let me show you. Hold on. Well, actually, let me do this. I'll pull up all the products here in one deal based on your age bracket. So 39. Cancer, it's 110.60, so it's a little bit more spendy. The accident plan's 128.40, and then the ICU is 66.40. And I'm not trying to overload you with costs, and I'm not trying to sell you the
Can
bag.
You pull that up just a tiny bit so I don't see the age? Oh, yeah.
Oh no, I can't do that.
Okay, I'm gonna take a picture of that.
Well, here, I'll do it. Well, yeah, you go ahead. Take a picture of it. Take a picture of this, and I'll scroll up the ICU part. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me do that one more time.
Yeah. Do I need to go back up?
No, I'm just looking.
Okay.
Because it all sounds, I mean, I've done, somewhat of something before where it worked out. But I don't have the budget for every one of those, but then I have to decide which one is the most important.
Well, and that's why I asked you on the front end, which one is, what's the biggest concern? And you said heart stroke. And you said, because my dad had it, because my husband's got high blood pressure and diabetes and high cholesterol, So for your situation, I would do the heart stroke at this point, because that's your most immediate concern based on health history and family history, right?
Yeah, but then I look at accidents and injuries, and I do have 4 children.
And that's a pretty good bang per buck right there.
Yeah.
But here's what I'll tell you, Amber: the accident injury is not going to be as protecting as the heart stroke is really expensive, right? If you have a heart attack or stroke, you're in intensive care, you're in the hospital and things like that. If you break a bone, you have an emergency room cost, but you're not, do you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't financially impact people as much as heart stroke.
Got it. So
that's why when I asked you which of the plans concern you the most, I didn't even use accident injury, because everyone says accident injury because that's what they think is most likely to happen.
Okay. So I'm thinking of it this way. So my good friend, her husband had seizures once in a great while.
Yep.
And they were married for 21 years, high school sweethearts. And he just passed away Monday morning. They couldn't get him out of his
coma.
His seizure.
So
when I think of it that way, yes, we don't have seizures and stuff, but it was like a horrendous, terrific accident.
Yep.
And they rushed him to the ICU. What would have that fell under? Would have that fell under?
So that would have fallen under ICU, because seizures aren't accidental. That's a health condition.
Okay, but obviously I would already know that.
Why would you? Obviously, what do you mean?
Well, I mean seizure as in like he he's had seizures before. It wasn't just like an
Gotcha.
onset thing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, it's very interesting. It's something that I'll be honest, I can't do it at this moment because we don't even have our furniture or luggage and we haven't even gotten bills come in yet. But I just took pictures of it and I know.
Here, let me do this. Let me do this then. I'm also going to send you copies of everything I went over with you. Now, granted, this is the Arkansas ones. I'd have to look up and I haven't downloaded the Florida ones at this point, but they're pretty similar in terms of payouts and whatnot.
Okay.
So this will be something that will share. And it's 4 Jackson kids, is that right? Or what was it?
4 kids Jackson's the number 4, then KIDS, then Jackson.
There it is.
Yep.
There we go. All right. So coverage.
And I apologize for having to reschedule.
Hey, I just hope I wasn't a pest or anything like that.
No, you weren't. I felt bad because you told me very first thing you said is be upfront with me. And I was like, oh crap, he's Josh's friend. I was being upfront with him, but just life got ahead of me. So I was like,
yeah,
he's gonna go back and talk trash about me to Josh.
No, not at all. You can ask Josh. I am very I'm intense about what I do, but I'm a very laid back, easygoing individual. So I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm able to adapt well to things that don't go the way they're planned. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say this jokingly, right? So my pet peeve is that your life doesn't revolve around mine. Mine has to revolve around you. You know, I'm saying that jokingly, right? Because that's the reality. Well, let me ask you this. So what would you like me to do? Would you be open to doing a follow-up meeting after you get your bills and stuff taken care or figured out?
Yes, but I would like to wait like 3 months so I know everything's come in because our furniture and everything's not even coming until February now.
Yeah. So I'll put you in my planner. Okay.
April is fine.
Yeah. So I'll contact you in April, and I'll just say, hey, Amber, this is Rob McLean, Family Heritage. Are you are you open to talking again? How about I'll put that, and then you can respond yes or no or what, take a hike, whatever. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Is that okay? I'll
Yeah.
contact you in April. Awesome. Hey, so maybe I could ask your help in another way. So the hard part about my job, well, I guess let me ask you this. First off, are you upset at all that Josh passed your name and number on to me?
No, because I trust Josh. I was just a little confused because he didn't mention it. Because I usually don't answer my phone if I don't know the number.
So the next question, are you comfortable with the way I approached you on the phone and how I've dealt with you in all our interactions?
Yes.
Cool. So can I ask your help? The hard part about my job isn't finding people that like this and can afford it. I've been doing this for 16 years and I do really, really well because everyone is very happy to hear about this, even if they don't do it. But the hard part is finding people. So would you be comfortable if I asked you, who are some families that you care about that I could just say hi to like I did with you? And based on who you are, they may listen to me like you did.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd have to can I email you some? Like I'd have to process some names.
Well, can I give you a couple name joggers?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have brothers and sisters, right? Or you have what are their, well, I think one works for Bentonville School District, right?
Well, Christina does, Josh's wife.
Well, that's Rogers School
Yeah,
District.
so Megan, I think you already contacted her. Her husband works for Bentonville School District. Now, my one question is my dad has already had a heart attack and
yeah, I can't cover him. That's a pre-existing condition.
Okay, but like say he's never had a stroke. Say he had a stroke, you could cover that, or cancer.
No, cancer, yes. Cancer, yes. I couldn't cover him on the heart stroke because that's a combined policy. So since he's had one, it eliminates from the other.
Okay.
But yeah, the cancer. Could I say hi to your parents?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Josh already gave you his phone number. My thing is I think my mom did say that you reached out, but she didn't do it because they're retired. Like they
Yeah.
get money no matter what. The problem with it is it's not a lot of money. They live off of retirement.
Do you feel like you have a better understanding, so you think they would be more interested if I called them? I don't want to be a pest, but if I
Yeah,
said,
but I would
hey,
have to contact them first just to tell her I spoke to you.
sure.
She knows that you know Josh. She knows it all. And so,
Okay.
and then I could explain it to her better, and then you could contact her.
Yeah, that's fine. Tell me her name again. I think I programmed her in my phone.
Tina McCool.
Tina McCool. Hey, are you guys? Well, maybe not. Let me see if I put it in my Outlook. You're from Oklahoma though, right? You're not from this area?
No, I'm from Oklahoma.
Yeah. I have a good buddy, Kelly McCool. He owns a Daylight Donuts here in Lowell,
Mm-hmm.
and but he's out of Fayetteville, so I wouldn't think there's any
Oh, wow.
relation. Or um, I'm just pulling up my Outlook. Hold on. Sorry. Maybe if I minimize the solitaire game, it would go faster. Just kidding. So what part of Florida are y'all in?
North of Tampa.
Okay. We were just in Tampa Bay a couple months ago for a little incentive trip that our company put on.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was not fond of living down here. I feel like it's a party town.
Gotcha.
Very busy and just on the go all the time.
If you want to be a Christian Scientologist, though, they've got like their headquarters there, don't they?
I don't know. Maybe
You
I
see
need to
that?
look that up.
Yeah, it's like the world headquarters, and you drive by there, and it's this huge. It looks like a Gothic, church type deal. So anyway, so I guess I don't have her program. So it's Tina McCool,
MCCOOL
Okay. What's her phone number?
405-206-4558.
Okay. How about, do you have any enemies? No, I'm just kidding. Do you have any people that you or your husband know that are self-employed? Or do you know anyone else who's had a family member who's dealt with cancer, or a family member who's had a heart stroke, or I would say that lady who just had her husband pass away due to the seizure would be a great one. I just don't want to contact her if it's too fresh. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, it's too fresh. Like every time I talk to her, she can't stop crying.
Yeah, that
Um,
would not be good.
I mean,
But
but I
anyone
can
else that
mention her. There is my really good friend. Her name's Acacia, ACACIA.
yeah,
Her number's it's Oklahoma.
awesome.
Okay, it's area code 405
Yep,
202
yep.
8728.
Okay.
And
What's her
she's
last
a
name?
Chernicky. I don't know how to spell it. I think it's CHERNICKY. But she's a single mom and her son's 20. And so she's by herself.
Okay. What does she do?
She works for OG&E.
I don't know what that is, but that's okay.
Oh, it's an
OG.
electric company.
Oh, got it.
Let me look through everything. I mean, it's hard. Some of my friends do not like it when I give out their numbers.
I get
So
it.
let me
Well, and
kind of,
if you do me a favor, can you give her a call or a text and just say, hey, I passed your name on to Rob McLean. He's going to give you a call. He's friendly.
mm-hmm.
Um, and it's worth listening to, that would be perfect,
Yeah,
and I guess whatever else you want. I mean, if you start talking about cancer or heart stroke or things like that, she'll probably say, "Oh, I already got stuff like that through my work." So, but this is usually different than what people have through their work.
okay.
So,
I have another friend, but let me contact her first before I give you her information.
okay.
She had quit her job to homeschool her
Mm.
kids because they were all virtual.
She's the only one in America who had to do that.
Right. And then like a month later, her husband, he had diabetes and something went wrong in they had to amputate his leg. And
Oh
so
my
now
gosh.
he is home, and so they're not bringing any income in.
Yeah, that wouldn't. I
And
mean,
I'm
it would
not
have been good
saying that I know you
beforehand.
can't cover certain things because he has diabetes already and stuff, but I'm like, if something else were to happen.
Sure.
Um,
Hey, Amber, are you on Facebook?
yes.
How do I find you?
So there's 500 Amber Jacksons.
Yes.
So let me figure this out. So the
Well,
picture
here,
are my two girls, and they're both in like a red shirt in front of a Christmas tree. And it says
got it.
Amber Jackson and then like parentheses McCool. And I'm
Yep,
friends with
I got
Christina.
it.
Are you friends with Christina?
I am. I got it.
Yeah.
I see you there now. Awesome. Cool.
So,
Yeah, I was just looking to see if we had anyone else in common, but we don't. Just Christina. It's kind of funny. I was working a fire training in Tulsa, and I ran into a guy who knew Josh from back home. Um, and then I go to a Christian family camp down in Texas during the summers and whatnot, and some of the one of the families there, Katie and Brett Bradley. He's a principal out in the Oklahoma City area, and I've not with Josh, but I've had other people. Just it's always fun for me to figure out, how small this world is because we just have so
everybody's
many.
connected.
Yeah, everybody's connected some way, and
Yeah.
so
So
anyway,
I have another thought.
yeah,
I don't know if you talk to Christina a lot, but whenever we did the disability thing that I did through my work when I got, that money whenever I had a baby,
yeah.
they came into our work and they presented it.
Oh yeah.
My other thought was reach out to Christina and ask her if you could present it to all those teachers at school.
So I work
Okay.
with her school district. However,
Okay.
during COVID right now, I haven't been in. I'm in 28 different school districts, you know, but due to the whole COVID and quarantining, and they're just trying to protect, you know, being able to stay open.
Yeah.
Uh, I, I haven't gone to any of those people. Hey, there's one though. Who's the owner of your preschool where you bought that policy from?
Oh, Lord. My friend Jennifer, but that was in Ohio.
I'm licensed in Ohio.
Oh, you are? I mean, I can
Yeah.
reach out to her.
Do
Let
you have
me
a number
reach,
for her? Oh, you want to?
yeah, let me reach out to her. I just don't
Okay.
talk to her a whole bunch.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Um, but I can reach out. I mean, we've talked
Where in
to,
Ohio? Where in Ohio were you? Man,
we
you've
were
been
in
all over the
Dayton,
place.
Dayton.
Okay. Yeah, I'm from
Um,
Michigan originally.
oh, okay. Yep, I've been to
Uh,
Michigan. My family lives there, my parents' side.
where?
Um, Holland,
Yeah,
some of
you're
them,
on
and then Oscoda.
Skoda. I don't know. I
It's
know
on the other
OCO.
side.
Okay.
Um,
I lived in a suburb of oh sorry, I'm walking away from the Zoom. Um I lived in a suburb of Detroit called Livonia.
okay.
And I went to Michigan State University and all that good stuff. So
Oh, okay.
but I just
Uh,
signed up a family from Ohio the other day.
oh, wow. Small
So
world. But I
yeah.
will, I will definitely get you some numbers. Just let me kind of think it through.
Yeah.
When I'm put on the
And
spot, it's harder. So let me think
sure,
it through and then I'll let you know.
sure. And then if you can just give Acacia a heads up text that I'll be giving her a call,
Okay.
I'll give you. I'll probably start calling her on Monday or so.
Okay, I will.
All
I
right.
will let her know. Thank you for
And then
your time.
yeah, and I'll contact you in April.
All right, sounds good.
Good luck with the transition.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.